Well, hello and welcome to Towcester, the new home of the English Greyhound Derby, sponsored by Star Sports. This is a special panel, a special preview on the big race. On your left is from Star Sports, Martin Chapman. Got the big man, Kevin Hutton, of course, leading trainer. 3 consecutive Trainers' Championship successes for the now Towcester-based handler. And of course, the man on my right is Ian Fortune, leading Greyhound journalist from across the water, which is pertinent because we're now going to discuss the Irish challenge for the Star Sports English Greyhound Derby. Now, it took you guys a while, but you finally got that trophy back last year with JT Jet. Are you going to keep it?
You know yourself. Why not? We like to bring a few quid back across the pond with us. We've a good team. We've a lot of classic winners already there, and yeah, there's a bit of strength there. There's obviously a few young dogs coming through as well, but yeah, you know, we've won it a few more times than the English have won ours, so we're planning on getting another one on the board.
Right. And a fantastic point, Mel, well made, of course. I mean, we're going to take some of the credit. JT, a good English-based owner, but of course, brilliant success for Paul Hennessy, realising an ambition when JT Jet crossed the line at the last Wimbledon Greyhound Derby. But the first Towcester Derby now, Claire's Rocket has been on the lips of so many of us. I mean, some reasons good, some reasons bad in terms of the kidnapping episode last year. But let's just talk racing at this instance. What's your feelings about him?
He's a machine. He's an animal. Obviously, he quite hasn't won as much as he should have. You know, he's a Champion Stakes winner, but
Produce as well.
Produce Stakes well, but you know, got injured in the Derby and missed the kick another couple of nights, didn't win the Night of Stars, but he's really only a second season dog now. You know, I know he ran at the back end of 2015 in the National Puppy Stake or the Comfort Cake Stake, but I think we're going to see the best of him this year.
Have you been surprised at how well he's taken Towcester or not?
No, I think he's just a fluent greyhound. You ever watch him in action? He just flows along, and he could run from any trap. You know, when he first started racing, he raced from the inside. In more recent times, he raced from the outside. Obviously, you'll probably see the middle here. I don't know, but the odds are that'll be 5 or 6. But he's a dog that'll go up straight and then cut the corner. Obviously, he probably has the gears to get across, and that's the main thing. I don't think he'll cut violently in if there's dogs on his inside, and if he gets to the front, he's certainly not going to be caught down the back straight, and it's going to take a serious one to get beyond him up the home straight.
Now, of course, Star Sports, Martin, Claire's Rocket to the fore in the market, came tumbling down after phenomenal trial a couple of weeks back as well. But Price's Brandy's been nibbled out as well, hasn't
Definitely, yeah. We laid that in actually long way back in the winter at 25 to 1. I mean, he's come out and won the Ledger at Limerick, and he's a seriously fast dog. His trapping would be a slight Achilles heel, but from 2 to 3, he's the quickest dog I think I've seen, certainly in Ireland. What I watched him last year, his back straight pace is phenomenal. And a couple of trials round here, he ran the track beautifully, I thought, when he was first round. Again, you can see dogs running trials round here. They run the same way with dogs around them. You know, he's not at race conditions here yet. Obviously, neither is Claire's Rocket. I mean, we'll see Claire's round here obviously this evening in the trial state. But you know, you've got to have the race experience here first of all. I think any quality dog will do a flash trial around here once they start getting them into the race experience. But again, like a lot of these Irish dogs have not really been race fit at the moment. You know, obviously with the Shelbourne Park situation, dogs are fairly quiet, and a lot of them have been, you know, very, very lightly raced, and they're not going to be fully fit, you know, fully tuned up, the Irish dogs for the early stage. I'm sure there'll be, you know, plenty left in them to improve for the competition. But
well, it's a marathon, not a sprint in terms of the qualification, which we think this year will include an additional round. Is a competition dog, Price's Brandy?
Very much so, yeah. He can do it from either way, from behind or from the front. I think he's pretty much a natural trapper. I think there was a couple of times early enough in his career that he missed the kick, but he had a couple of little problems last year. But I think if this dog arrives fresh and well, I think he's the one dog that can really put it up to Claire's Rocket in terms of pure pace. His run in the Ledger was astounding. But you've got to remember, in his first handful of races, he broke the clock in Kilkenny, which was long standing. It had been held for years and years by Bowford of Light. This dog came out as a raw novice and broke the clock, which was it was astounding, you know. What he did do at the start of his career was he used to come out of traps and take a step right. Now, I noticed in his trial here he didn't. He seemed to go reasonably straight. If he confirms himself as a true inside seed, I think he'll be there with Claire's Rock in the final.
Okay. Now, we've got bubbly Bluebird, which I think brings the puppy class of 2016 to the table. Would Droopy's Wilbury be the equivalent for Ireland in terms of his age, bringing the leading puppy form from last year, or is there something else?
Well, yeah, I suppose he was a good puppy derby winner, or juvenile derby winner. He's a nice, strong running dog. For me, he just doesn't do anything particularly flashy. He starts, he stays, he does everything right, but he's not going to fly home like some dogs, or he's not going to fly to the corner like other dogs. He's a dog that might find a dog better than him a few nights, but he's a dog that'll keep qualifying. I don't think personally he's one of our, so let's say, top 3 or 4.
Sure.
But,
would Hot Trend be there?
Flashy Greyhound. Unfortunately, when he misses the kick, he misses the kick, and tends to find trouble. And he's a dog that I've opposed most of his races, and it's generally worked out okay for me. You know, that sort of way. When he hits the lids, he's special now. You know, he's 28-10 in Cheltenham Park as a raw enough novice. Like, no.
Is he McKenna's number 1? Owen McKenna's
very
number
much so.
1?
Yeah, very much so. But he's going to have a small team, Owen, and Hot Trend. If he gets his trapping right, continues to show consistency at the boxes, he'll certainly raise an eyebrow or two.
Which his Scottish Derby run didn't show the other night, did it?
No,
for a fact,
he
he was completely all at sea.
And he completely missed the kick.
Missed the kick completely, yeah.
And the second he hit the ground, he got done by a dog, and that was it, you know. So I wouldn't even worry about that run, you know what I mean? But my thing with him is, I wouldn't like to see him turning sort of 4th any night, just because I don't think he's particularly strong.
No,
you know. So. And
Droopy's Wilbury's Pat Buckley. Pat Buckley's gone so close to winning.
Yeah.
Almost similar to Paul Hennessy in many ways, but you know, obviously Mind the Net, Droopy's Roddick. Who would be his number 1 at this stage, or is it too early to say?
Well, you'd be saying Wilbury and the Scottish Derby finalist Coolivany Mason. Coolivany Mason's a very fast dog. Again, trapping is his problem, you know what I mean? But these dogs, we're sort of taking it for granted that they'll get through the first 2 or 3 rounds. And all of a sudden you get used to the traps, you get used to the track, and that might be the big difference. He's a dog that wants the fence though, very badly needs the fence. If he's in 4, he's too far out, simple as that. He'll want to be on the fence, and there's going to be an awful lot of inside season this derby, I can imagine.
And another regular visitor, Peter Cronin, of course, I think has gone pretty close as well. I think 2nd, you know. So generally when I'm at the bar, after a few, they tell me Sab Miller's going to win the Star Sports English Greyhound Derby. Is that a viable situation going on?
The honest answer is who knows.
Right.
I know Peter's talking him up. He's only won 1 race in his career. He's very likely raced.
Very likely raced. Yeah.
He's shown loads of pace.
The trial, it was deceptive the other day as well. He did like 29.04 or 20 something ridiculous.
Very
trial.
good. Very
it looked
good
like he was just crawling around. To be honest, he's got a lovely stride, that dog.
He has shown plenty of pace, but we're just waiting on him to do what Peter says he can do, and obviously if he does what Peter says he can do, he's going to go well in the derby.
Kevin, we're going to expect a very strong Irish challenge for the derby. What's caught your eye?
For me, Priceless Brandy's been the number 1 for me so far. I think the dog's got everything. I know he's seriously well thought of by Paul and the team, and he's a dog who can definitely get better as this competition goes on. So, I mean, there's any number you could pick, but he's really stood out for me so far.
Okay, well, thanks, Kevin, and thanks, guys. That concludes our a look at the main Irish challenge for the Star Sports English Greyhound Derby. We still have to look at those English outsiders, those Irish outsiders as well, and I've got the man to help us out there. Come back to us soon.